G'day everyone, welcome back to Pete's Investing. Today is July 27, 2023. This is the currency update, and here I'm just going to be highlighting the currencies which have got a divergence watch or a divergence hit since our last video was made. So let's get stuck straight into it. First off, the Euro British Pound, that we're looking at watching the divergence on that one. So let's go back to the chart, and what we're looking at here is on the hourly chart for each of these. You can see here since our last video the price has declined and fallen below the 61% retracement of that wider Fibonacci range. Now you'll notice here we've got a slight bullish divergence on the CCI versus the price. It's still falling. So as long as the CCI keeps rising, the price may still fall, but as long as that CCI keeps rising, we're going to keep that as a bullish divergence, and we're going to aim for a target somewhere, probably assuming it turns sometime soon, we're going to put a target somewhere in that 23 to 38% Fibonacci retracement level as our target. But you will notice as well the it's pretty bearish at the moment. The price has retraced past the 61% level, as I said, and that's a sign of a possible reversal unless this breaks so hard to the upside. And also we see the stochastic is broken below the midpoint of the 50 mark. So again, this could always bounce, and the divergence may actually go a lot higher than that 38% level. But I'm putting that as just a short-term initial target as a higher probability of success, rather than aiming for anything too high up here in that area. So again, we need to see the price break higher, but also need to see the CCI break higher as well as the stochastic on that one. Next, we're looking at the Euro US, and we've got a divergence target has been hit. So let's now go to the chart, which shows since our last video, it did come down as far as past the 50% level on this wider Fibonacci range, but it bounced from there, and you can see there's a bullish divergence on the CCI. It's bounced from there, and it's hit our initial target, and I've put a target in there somewhere between around the 38% level, and it's actually hit that on that little wick. So again, with some of these targets, I like to bring them in closer rather than putting them too high. This could always go higher, but I like to bring and hit these initial targets for a higher probability of success. But you will notice the stochastic as well as the CCI are turning up, and that could be a sign of a further upward movement. It actually hasn't broken through the 50 level of the stochastic, so it's a positive in terms of the Euro US. So target hit on that one. So the British Pound US, that's also had a divergence hit, and we're in a bullish mode. So again, in terms of the chart, you can see here since our last video we did draw this bullish divergence on the price chart and on the CCI, and it broke out of this channel. That was our entry point, and it went as high as the 38% level, and it's actually gone up to the 50% level. So we always place a target closest, as I said, to the closest Fibonacci range once we enter. In that case, it filled that target quite easily. You will notice we have had another divergence back here, a bearish divergence back here, and it came down and hit our target as well. But that's a bit of history. But yeah, these usually work, and that's why I don't get too ambitious with your targets. Now, again, this one, had you placed the target a lot lower, it would have hit it, between that range and that range. It would have gone past the 61% level. But again, don't get too ambitious. So British Pound US has done quite nicely as well. Next cab off the rank is the New Zealand Canadian dollar. Likewise, the divergence target has been hit. So again, looking at the chart on that one, before our last video we did have this little minor bullish divergence on the CCI versus the price. It bounced from there, and it hit our target within the 23-38% level quite easily. But you will notice the stochastic is approaching and broken up through the midpoint, and that's rising, and so is the CCI still rising. Now you'll notice this price did come down and break below the 61% of this wider Fibonacci range, and that's a key area to look out for. In this case, it's bounced off that area and moving further to the upside. So we may see further upside on New Zealand Canadian on that one. Lastly, we'll look at the US Canadian dollar. Now we've got a divergence on the daily chart, and I'll show you that in a minute. But first off, let's look at the hourly chart. There's not really much to talk about here. The price has been going sideways. Likewise, the stochastic and the CCI. So there's no real divergence to talk about on the hourly chart. But looking at the daily chart, you'll notice there is a bullish divergence on the CCI versus the price. But again, notice the stochastic is still declining. So we may possibly see a bit further decline, maybe towards this support at 130.92. But if it does bounce somewhere from here and starts moving to the upside, then we're going to set a target once we see a bit of an upward movement. But so we'll keep an eye on that daily divergence on the US Canadian dollar. So that's it for today. So again, just be mindful, the strategy or the technique I'm using here, that can be applied to almost any chart and any time frame. I'm showing you primarily here on the hourly time frame and the daily, but you can apply this to shares, commodities, indices, and going long or short. It works both ways. So again, to get some more understanding, feel free to subscribe to my Patreon page, where we also do some scans of divergence, and we scan for stocks, currencies, and commodities. Subscribe, like, and share the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in a future video.